Hey everyone, I'm the Burning Baron, but you can just call me the Baron, and back with part 2 of my all Mario Kart track ranking video. We're moving on to Mario Kart 64, and this is where things are 100% going to get better. For multiple reasons. A, Mario Kart 64 is infinitely more exciting than Super Mario Kart. B, it's more notable than Super Mario Kart. And C, this was my very first video game overall. I have opinions on Mario Kart 64. And trust me, it'll be hard to see anything hit the E rank here. So, let's go in. Reminder of the rules. This is my personal ranking. Everything here is all on my opinion, how I play the tracks, how I want to rank them. This is all personal. Number 2 is that I will be ranking every track based on all of their various appearances throughout the Mario Kart franchise. That includes Tour, so we're taking everything into account. We're going to be focusing solely on Mario Kart 64. If you haven't seen Super Mario Kart, I'd recommend you hit that one up first. It's all right here. You can see where everything lands, but if you want to see how they got there, you got to go and see the first video. But let's move on to Mario Kart 64. I also want to say I'm doing this in the same sitting as Super Mario Kart. Who knows if they'll all be in the same sitting, but for now, this is in the same sitting, so let's have some fun with this. So, starting with Luigi Raceway. Luigi Raceway is a far better opener than Mario Circuit 1 ever was, and is the start of Luigi's opener tracks. While he only has 3 total, I think. Oh no, he has 4 circuits, but 3 of them were the first courses of Mushroom Cup. Luigi Raceway is definitely the nostalgic opener for me. Like, to me, this is what most people's Wii Luigi circuit could be, or DS Figure 8 circuit. It's gonna be really, like, honestly, I think I can see some N64 tracks hitting the C tier, but I don't think we're gonna be hitting anything lower than that. We'll see though. But Luigi Raceway is a nice standard opener. It's got a huge straightaway, and it's got 2 really big wide oval turns. So I think it does ease into Mario Kart 64's new control scheme, and definitely shows up Super Mario Kart without even trying. But Luigi Raceway definitely does what it needs to do as an opener. It's very open, very big, very wide. It's pretty easy to stay on the track. I think it's a very simple track. Doesn't need to be much, not much that needs to be said. Its appearance in Mario Kart 7 was super awesome. It was, I believe, the first course of Shell Cup. Yeah, it was. Perfectly placed, if you ask me. While Mario Kart 7 does have the problematic situation of all of its N64 tracks being Mushroom Cup courses, Luigi Raceway was, I'd say, the only one that I didn't really care that was in Mario Kart 7 was Koopa Troopa Beach, but we'll talk about that later. N64 Luigi Raceway was probably one of the most welcome additions for Mario Kart 7, especially among the N64 tracks. And its appearance in Tour wasn't all that bad. I'm pretty sure it was scaled down significantly in Tour, but it was overall quite fun. The trick variant was a lot of fun with all the straightaway trick ramps. The reverse version, like, I always love reverse versions, but taking all of its appearances, I think this is a B rank track. It's still a simple opener, still better than Mario Circuit 1. Do I like it more than Mario Circuit? Well, I mean, I do like it more than Mario Circuit 4. It's hard for me to say I like any, like these SNES tracks have other appearances that make it a little bit better than Luigi Raceway. And the reality is Luigi Raceway is not an S-rank track from nostalgia alone. I do like it more than Mario Circuit 4. Like, again, it's because it's got multiple appearances that helps it, and that's what's kicking Mario Circuit 4 down a little bit. But we're gonna stick with that. It's a pretty solid B rank track. The nostalgia is a big part of it, but I also do very much like every single version of Luigi Raceway. It's got no bad appearances, perfectly placed in Mario Kart 7. I think that's enough said. Moo Moo Farm is another track that its only other appearance was in Mario Kart DS, where it was the second course of the Shell Cup. whereas it was also the second course of Mushroom Cup. Moo Moo Farm is also a very simple track. It's just an oval. The hazards involve Monty Moles popping themselves out, and, well, they are surprisingly effective hazards. I will give it that. You're either forced to go on the outside of the oval and risk taking longer. Like, you can either dash through the Monty Mole clusters and risk getting smacked by one, or you can go around the holes and just take longer. Because everyone knows that if you drift on the inside of an oval, it's far better than drifting on the outside of an oval, because you're covering more ground on the outside than the inside. Look, I don't need to explain physics, or how that all works. Case in point, Moo Moo Farm is not exactly the most high-speed track in any game, really. It's nice. It's, again, Mario Kart 64 is also the game that started actually diverting in track themes. It's not like Super Mario Kart where there were approximately 8 themes spread across 20 tracks. So, Moo Moo Farm, I don't want to say that this is 100% a C rank. This, actually, no, you know what? Look, let's call C the middle ground where there's not really much, like, I don't hate the tracks. In fact, I don't hate Moo Moo Farm at all. I just don't think it's a strong enough track to be the B tier. I do think it's the top of C, though. Moo Moo Farm is better than every other SNES track in history. Like, it's literally the same as the other SNES tracks. It's just better than all the SNES tracks. I just don't think it's long or exciting enough to be in the B tier. I mean, it's got the cute cows, don't get me wrong. It's a very adorable track for what it is. The cows, the farm setting. Like, this was the first real unique theme that the Mario Kart series saw, if we go by track order. But the track itself, when compared to everything above it, is just not that. It's just not strong enough for it. Koopa Beach 2 is in a similar boat where it's longer than Moo Moo Farm, but it's a beach. And Super Mario Kart already blew its beaches. Koopa Troopa Beach clearly was taking, like, something from the Koopa Beaches, except it just decided to use Koopa's full name. Is Koopa Troopa Beach better than the Koopa Beaches? Yes, 100%. It's bigger, it's more interesting, it's got shortcuts. And it's got a giant rock with an item box on top that in Mario Kart 64 guarantees you a spiny shell. I've got a funny story about that. I actually successfully hit that item box once, and I didn't realize that I had gotten into first because of using that ramp. I got the spiny shell, immediately launched it because I didn't realize I was in first place. It came back and hit me. It was pretty hilarious. Here's the thing. Koopa Troopa Beach, while infinitely better than most other SNES tracks, I think the problem is that I didn't really care that it was in Mario Kart 7. I think this was the one that, like, out of all 3 N64 tracks in Mario Kart 7, this was the one I really wish it wasn't. I wish it was something different. I wish it was either Royal Raceway or Toad's Turnpike, but Mario Kart 8 picked up the slack there. Koopa Troopa Beach is better than Moo Moo Farm, but I also am not as huge on most beach tracks. It's just not the theme I enjoy. It's definitely a lot more interesting looking of a beach track when compared to some others. You know, it's, you know what? Yeah, not strong enough to be anywhere higher, but it's definitely better than Moo Moo Farm. I don't care for it that much, but I'm not gonna slap it any lower. Like, no, I am. I like Moo Moo Farm better. Moo Moo Farm is just a little nicer. It's like Koopa Troopa Beach on, like, a lot of these N64 tracks just have the what's the word I'm looking for? They have the pleasure of being better tracks than SNES tracks. Keep in mind, depth was also added in Mario Kart 64. You know, going up and down hills. That was just infinitely better. So, Koopa Troopa Beach is definitely better than every single SNES track. But Moo Moo Farm is more adorable. So, that wins. Koopa Troopa Beach does have a lot going for it. Tour, it was okay in Tour, but the shortcuts were definitely a high point for it. Calamari Desert. This one's an easy one. So here's what I'm gonna do. No, I'm going to rank Calamari. Ooh, this one actually is hard because Calamari Desert 2 from Tour exists, and while it's treated separately in Mario Kart Tour, it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that complicates things. Because Calamari Desert 2 is technically merged into Calamari Desert in its appearance for Mario Kart 8. You know what? In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it's called Calamari Desert, so we're gonna stick the Calamari Desert of Mario Kart 8 in 8 Deluxe into the OG, and that automatically puts it at the top of A rank. Calamari Desert is probably the Mario Kart 64 icon, next to some others. I think we can all agree that Rainbow Road is probably Mario Kart 64's most iconic track, but Calamari Desert is probably one of the most iconic. This one's my brother's favorite track. It was definitely a hot pick for Mario Kart 8. While it was in the Leaf Cup, which I don't think it deserved to be in, like this could have been in the like they could have taken out Koopa Troopa Beach, put Calamari in the Banana Cup, and then added another GBA track. That's what they could have done, but they didn't. But it was still my favorite retro course, one of my favorite retro courses in Mario Kart 7. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was like probably its most peak appearance. It showed that the booster course, I think it was the track that really kind of made me think, okay, maybe they're taking a little bit of that criticism from Wave 1 into account and actually working on the visuals, because it actually looked pretty nice for a Wave 2 track. And the merging of Calamari Desert 2 made it so much more interesting. And even in the OG, it was awesome. Because, while it was a pain in the ass on 150cc if you let that CPU with a handicap get away, you know what? If you know what you can achieve in this track if you had a super mushroom or a golden mushroom or a star, you can cut so much of the sand just after the second railway crossing. It's unreal. Like, the shortcut potential in Calamari Desert is unreal in the original, thanks to how broken the items could be. And honestly, you could probably even get away with it in 8 Deluxe and in Tour or 7 as well. It was nothing to write home about in Tour, but definitely 8 Deluxe 7 in the OG just make this an easy A rank track. Top of A, no other thing. Okay. I know, we're really early into this ranking system for me to make this claim, but you're also technically going to get my top 10 favorite Mario Kart tracks out of this. It's way too early for this, but I would like to welcome everybody to my number 1 favorite Mario Kart track in history. Toad's Turnpike. I'm not going to hide it. Top of A, or top of S, staying top of S. This has been my favorite track for some time. And I think what names this my favorite track of all time is solely its Mario Kart 64 Mirror Mode appearance. I would wager that Toad's Turnpike is one of the hardest tracks in the franchise. Mirror Mode in Mario Kart 64, it reversed everything, sure, but Toad's Turnpike was the only track to have traffic. It was also, I guess, because it was a Mario Kart, it's a Nintendo 64 game, limitations made traffic harder to handle? I don't know, but normally the traffic goes with you in 50 to 150cc. In Mirror Mode, the traffic goes against you. And especially at the last turn of the track, where the lanes went from 3 to 2, this track could stun lock you with traffic on Mirror Mode. It's so hard. I struggle with this track at the age of 29. This track, Mirror Mode Toad's Turnpike, has been one of the hardest tracks for me in my entire life, and I think that's why I love it so much. Aside from the music and the very, very nice Twilight theme, this track has just been, it's been in my heart, and the more I tried to convince myself that other tracks could be better, the more I tell myself, no, I've done what I needed to compare. I've compared what I needed to compare. This still just wins it for me. Toad's Turnpike will forever be my #1 favorite, and that's why it's going to stay at the top of S for the entirety of these videos, bar none. I will take any disagreement. I was so glad that this track came back in Mario Kart 8, and while its Mario Kart 8 appearance does not match its OG, I still love the details they added. Now it's in a big city. The outskirts have like mountainous regions. The gliding truck was so much fun to hit that. You hit the gliding truck right at the intersection where you can fly right over the starting line. Absolutely love the details. The music in the OG was one of my favorites, still is. While the remix in Mario Kart 8 wasn't as great, I still take every single detail into effect here. Toad's Turnpike is my favorite, bar none. We're going to keep it that way as we move on to Frappe Snowland, another relatively strong track. It's got 3 appearances in 64, DS, and Tour. And I'd say this was one of the earliest surprises in Mario Kart Tour, because a lot of the tracks I knew about were tracks from like the beta where everything, like it was a lot of SNES and Mario Kart 7 tracks, but Frappe Snowland was like one of the first surprises where it was in the first winter tour, and I really much enjoyed that it appeared there. It was very nice. The variants are, they're pretty decent. I also think that the visuals in Mario Kart Tour were very nice. The way the ice walls like now shimmer and how they're actually made out of ice, as opposed to what looked like just piled up snow. The giant Mario and Yoshi sculptures were very nice. I think it took me a while to realize it was them, but Yoshi and Mario snow sculptures, freaking adorable. And while the track doesn't change too much in its various appearances, which I think this track definitely could have added some additional details, especially in the far background, maybe some bigger snowy drifts or some other more snowy trees. Still a very nice track. What else can I say? Like, again, it's not really all that standout. I'd say that the snowy wall area was a lot of fun. Snowmen litter around the track, the giant open spot with the Mario snow sculpture. I'd say this is still a pretty strong track. I'm gonna put it at the top of B. It could use a few more details, but it hasn't had a bad appearance. Better than Luigi Raceway. Got that, it's a snowy theme. It's like a nice open wonderland, winter wonderland. We'll take it. Choco Mountain, another really, really great track. This is a track where I underestimate the music for a lot. The OG music was phenomenal, so catchy. Love the remix in Mario Kart 8 as well. What they did in Mario Kart Tour was another surprise in Mario Kart Tour where they added it. It was compressed a little bit, but I really do like that they made it a giant. They made the giant cave bigger. Like, it's not just a giant Donkey Kong shaped tunnel. Look, I'm gonna say it. You can't tell me that the way that the tunnel looked with the 2 Choco bits there, it looked like eyes, and the top, the pointed top looked like Donkey Kong's pointed head, especially from his N64 model. Like, and I think it's just the reason why it looks like Donkey Kong for me is because it also kind of looks like the same shape of Donkey Kong from behind in Mario Kart 64. I've always associated Choco Mountain with Donkey Kong, so that's just a little fun fact. Love how they expanded and added a gliding ramp in the Tour version. The Tour version did look very nice. The variants were very good. Like, I could score really high on all the variants. So, obviously, I'd say Mario Kart DS was its weakest appearance, but it's also a very nice appearance because, again, the Mario Kart 64 selection for Mario Kart DS was pretty decent. Moo Moo Farm, Banshee Boardwalk, Choco Mountain, and Frappe Snowland, pretty solid group of picks. Choco Island was in Leaf Cup, where, yeah, with its length and its size, it gets away with it. Especially considering it was like Mario Kart 64 tracks are pretty big. You have to scale them down when they come back. I'm gonna put Choco Mountain in A. Would I say, is it better or worse than Rainbow Road though? That's the real question. Like, okay, hold on. I'm gonna put it here for now, just so I can scroll up. It boils down to Tour, and I think Choco Mountain is just slightly better in Tour than Rainbow Road. If you want to say it, I'd say these are probably tied in position, but I'm going to put Choco Mountain up a little bit more. Ooh, do I really want it though? We're gonna call this a tie position because both the Tour variations are really good. It's a Rainbow Road though. Nope, it's a tie. I can't rank Choco Mountain or Rainbow Road higher than the other. I'm only putting Rainbow Road higher just because it's colorful. Literally the only pixel of a point that Rainbow Road has over Choco Mountain is that it's colorful. Choco Mountain has better music. Rainbow Road has a better like rainbow design, like the colors are nicer. Their Tour renditions are equal. Their 8 Deluxe, their appearance in 8/8 Deluxe is pretty equal. Everything else is pretty equal. There is no, for me, Rainbow Road and Choco Mountain are pretty much definitively tied. Mario Raceway. This is definitely going to hit the B tier as well because it's a really, really good Mario Raceway. It was in Tour. It only has one appearance in Tour. And I do like its appearance in Tour. It was also compressed a little bit. And the like U-turn area at the center of the map where the grassy hill is near the beginning, it's definitely a little bit like rounder, and I do like its appearance in Tour. Don't get me wrong, it's quite nice. I wish it had more appearances. Unfortunately, it suffers from being a very late game ad. Basically, every Tour track added like within the time frame of the Mario versus Luigi Tour is going to have like one appearance at best, except for Waluigi Stadium and GBA Luigi Circuit, which both got 2 appearances somehow. But that's not what this is about. Mario Raceway was also in Mario Kart Wii as the finisher for Mario Kart, or the Shell Cup. Really goes to show that the standards in Mario Kart Wii were weird, where these tracks were all huge, and some of the Flower Cup courses were getting pushed back into Shell Cup because who knows why. But this was the finisher for both the Shell Cup and the Flower Cup. Pretty phenomenal Mario circuit. I mean, it's better than every other. Would I say it's better than Mario Circuit 2? It's kind of hard to say. When I'm comparing Mario Circuit 2 to other Mario or other games, yeah, I feel like I'm putting it pretty high. The Mario Raceway might be what bumps Mario Circuit 2 down. But I also have to remember that Donut Plains 3 is beating Mario Circuit 2 for a reason. And if Mario Circuit 2 drops, does Donut Plains 1 warrant being here? You know what? Actually, yeah, let's shuffle things up a little bit. I think because of Mario Raceway, I would say it's better than Mario Circuit 2. However, I also don't believe that Mario Circuit 2 should be in the A tier in the face of Mario Raceway, because Mario Raceway kind of does everything Mario Circuit 2 does, but better. Its appearance in Mario Kart Wii is probably stronger than Mario Circuit 2's appearance in Mario Kart 7, and the Tour version of Mario Raceway is better than Mario Circuit 2. So we're going to put Mario Circuit 2 down to B, where I still think it deserves to be higher than these. But Mario Raceway does a good job at showing Mario Circuit 2 who's boss. So we got our first shuffle. Let's go. All right, Wario Stadium. That Mario Kart 64 track. You know, the only one that hasn't come back yet. So Wario Stadium is in the same boat as well, technically it's in its own boat. Ghost Valley 3, Bowser Castle 1, Bowser Castle 2. They have appeared again in Super Circuit, which is still a technical 2 appearances. Wario Stadium still has 1. Just 1. It's fun though. I really do like it. Top of B. It's long, it's crazy, it's nerfed hard by the fact that items do not function very well. Red shells will not function in Wario Stadium. If you fall behind on this track, you're not catching up. Unless you're getting light, your red shells are not useful. If you're in second place and you can't catch up to first, good luck. You're gonna need to get some stars or some mushrooms. You're gonna need speed to catch you up to first place. The offense is not gonna work. Yeah, no, I'd still think it's still top of B. Better than Mario Circuit 2, better than Frappe, better than Luigi Raceway. It's probably one of the longer tracks in the game. It's got the jump that can screw you up if you fall, but otherwise, it's a pretty damn decent track. I like it. Top of B. Sherbet Land. This one's another. It's just a better Frappe Snowland. It's also got the privilege of being in Wii, which is a huge step up because again, somehow tracks are dropping a cup because this is a Star Cup track that ended up being in the beginning of Banana Cup. What were Mario Kart Wii's difficulty standards? How on earth did Sherbet Land be the second course of Star Cup to the first course of Banana? They are basically saying that Sherbet Land is on par in difficulty with Donut Plains 1 and Dry Desert. Mario Kart Wii is crazy, bro. Sherbet Land definitely is fun, though. I'd say that its crazy-ass appearance in Mario Kart Wii is probably why I'm about to shove it at the top of B as well. No, this is an A-rank track. Bro, am I really gonna say that Sherbet Land is better than Mario Raceway? Or worse than Mario Raceway? Hell no. Yeah, no, I think, okay, Mario Kart Wii's crazy appearance and placement is great and insane, but I'm not gonna let that get ahead of it. Donut Plains 3 and Mario Kart 8 is still 100% better. Sherbet Land overall is fun though because it's really fun to see your character freeze into a cube of ice when they fall into the water. The penguins are annoying as hell, but they're still fun. It's a very open track. It's kind of like, it's a better Vanilla Lake 2. I think that's the best way of putting it. It's Vanilla Lake 2, but infinitely better because it's longer, it's more open, it's got a better shape. It's just better than, it's literally Vanilla Lake 2 better. I think it deserves to be an A rank because it's just fun. And god damn it, Mario Kart Wii, you crazy ass game. All right, Royal Raceway. This one's a pretty standard, like for like one of the latest appearing raceways or circuits in the franchise. I think this is on par with Mario Circuit in DS and just behind Mario Circuit 4. Mario Circuit 4 is the latest appearing circuit in the franchise because there's not been a single circuit that has ever been in the Star or Special Cup, not including the Lightning appearance of Mario Circuit 3. For a track like this, it's hard for me to say too much. This was definitely, like, this was the thing that we needed in Mario Kart 8 or 7. I think it should have been in Mario Kart 7, but I guess the length stopped that, which I think is bullshit because Maple Treeway and Koopa Cape exist. Royal Raceway, I feel like should have been in Mario Kart 7 if they didn't want to put in, if they wanted to be a little more diverse, but I think my original idea of just adding another GBA track was better, so Mario Kart 8 it is. Also somehow dropping into the Banana Cup, but the gliding ramp was definitely what it needed. But even without the gliding ramp, in the original game, this track was pretty crazy and fun. The giant jump, and you could do a giant bounce after the jump was fun. Also, but the ending turns were really crazy and hard to get. It was honestly at that point a little easier to just cut through the grass. You might have actually saved time. But you also want to avoid that dip just before the finish line, just in front of the finish line. If you hit the dirt, you're going in the water. That is a good, well, yeah, this one's a pretty standard track if you ask me. Bottom of B. Yeah, bottom of B. It brought a lot to the table. In Mario Kart 8 it was pretty impressive in Tour as well. Nah, I'll put it above Mario Circuit 4, sure, why not? I might change. This might be another ties situation. Mario Circuit 4 is hard carried on its own. It doesn't need anything else to burden it or bump it up. Like, it's literally getting to be on its own. Royal Raceway has a little bit more. I think my nostalgia for Luigi Raceway is what's placing Luigi Raceway above Royal Raceway. But Royal Raceway definitely earns its keep. Bowser's Castle. N64 Bowser's Castle is my favorite Bowser's Castle. This is another situation where it's going to be hard because it's like, this is, okay, easy S rank, but it's got, like, everything is fighting with Bowser Castle 3 right now. If I rank Bowser's Castle 64 above Bowser Castle 3, Mario Circuit 3 is going to need to drop. Like, that's actually pretty easy to do, actually, now that I think about it. Bro, of course. Of course Bowser... Look, okay. I think with me putting SNES Mario Circuit 3 above Bowser Castle 3 was definitely doing that an injustice. So this is probably just hitting, like, just nailing another nail into the coffin. Like, bro, everyone's going to be yelling at me for putting Mario Circuit 3 above Bowser Castle 3. But, again, my heart is telling me to put it here. This is... Why am I even thinking Bowser Castle 3 is not as good as Mario Circuit 3? Listen. You have to be... Look. We know Bowser Castle 3 SNES is better. But if you're going to rank below Mario Circuit 3, you also have to be below Bowser Castle 3. To get past Bowser Castle 3, you have to be better than Mario Circuit 3. To be better than Mario Circuit 3, you have to be better than Bowser Castle 3. Like, you literally, these are conjoined right now. Unfairly conjoined. But Bowser Castle N64 is my favorite Bowser's Castle. It is the most ominous of all Bowser's Castles, and that's what ranks it so high. The music is so ominous. This was like one of my earliest childhood fears because the thwomps scared me when I was like 5. So I had to ask my dad to race on this track for me. I don't think I really touched the Star Cup when I played Mario Kart 64 as a kid. I played Special Cup a lot. I played Flower and Mushroom a lot. Did I play Star a lot? No, I was too afraid of Bowser's Castle. It's also one of the hardest Mario Kart tracks by default. The corners, getting stuck in the corners in Mario Kart 64 is tough. You fall behind on this track, it's going to be very hard to get back up. Especially with all the hazards. Bumping into a thwomp will set you back. Its appearance in Mario Kart Wii as a finale of the Lightning Cup was well deserved. This track is like probably peak Bowser's Castle for me. I do like it a little bit more than Bowser Castle 3, so easy S rank. DK's Jungle Parkway. I played a lot of this. It's surprisingly short for a Special Cup track, and it's surprisingly uninteresting for a Special Cup track, and for a Mario Kart 64 track. This is... okay. It's pretty cool. I like it in Mario Kart Wii. Again, Mario Kart 64 tracks were pretty evenly spread across most of the games, Mario Kart 7 notwithstanding. DK's Jungle Parkway reappeared in Wii, and that's the only other reappearance it had. They had the off-screen characters throwing walnuts at you if you were off-road, which was definitely a hazard because if you got hit too many times, you would wipe out. It does have the ending where you can just cut right up the slope in the cave, which pretty huge shortcut. Honestly, that cave was pretty... It did shave off a few seconds, and it was especially useful in Mario Kart Wii, where it was changed into a dirt road, which meant you couldn't really misgauge where to go. In Mario Kart 64, you could take it too steep and it would fail. In Mario Kart Wii, it was a dirt road, and I don't think the gravity was going to hurt you that much, so you could just take it wherever. So, I think I'm saying a lot where I'm going to put it. It's top of C. It's better than Moo Moo Farm and Koopa Troopa Beach, but, like, it's just in that odd position where I don't think it's as good as most of the other N64 tracks. Barring, like, again, Luigi Raceway is up there for nostalgia. Yoshi Valley is hilarious because the N64 couldn't keep track of everybody. It's a giant maze that the game didn't know where everyone was. It could not, even on the outside of the maze where it was easy to tell where everyone was, this game, the moment you were in the maze, game couldn't do it. Game was like, nope, blew a fuse. I wouldn't be surprised if during testing, this track actively screwed up an N64. It came back in both Tour and in Mario Kart 8, where it was very interesting, again, like with the Switch and the Wii U actually being able to tell where everyone was. It could actually keep track of that, but it still offered some crazy stuff with a blue shell not being able to tell who was in first. Some blue shells have actively been screwed up by this, so... Bro, this is 100% the top of B. It's a funny track, come on! It's like, if even the Switch was causing glitches with the goddamn blue shells, this track earns its keep as just a joke. But I still love it. In the original N64, you could get away from some crazy shortcuts. At the very, like the big top hand U-turn, you could probably jump down with a mushroom and save a little bit of time. It was fun in Tour. Like, honestly, I feel like I ranked this too early. There's still so much I could say about this. The variants in Tour were fun. The fact that this was a battle track in Mario Kart 8 actually was pretty strong. If we maybe had blocked off the outer area and just kept it to the maze itself, this probably could have been a solid battle track. Heck, they probably could have pulled that off in Tour as well. But we all know that the Tour battle mode was an afterthought. And while it was incredibly painful to fall on this track in the original N64 version, that's just what made it even funnier. You hit someone with a red shell and or a blue shell and they flew off the track, you'd be laughing so hard. And you'd probably lose a friend. Alright, Banshee Boardwalk. Yeah, I know where I'm putting this, but like, Banshee Boardwalk is such a sleeper pick for me. Like, I don't give this track the time. I used to not give this track the time of day. Its appearance in Mario Kart DS was very surprising and very nice as the first, and I believe, well, no, not the only Special Cup track. Koopa Beach 2 was also there, but Koopa Beach 2, we don't talk about that. N64 Banshee Boardwalk was probably the most notable and meaningful Special Cup track to make it into Mario Kart DS. Well deserved. It was definitely compressed, but I think because of its simplistic design, that's what was able to get it into Mario Kart DS. But the music was definitely not an upgrade, but then again, the music wasn't all that strong to begin with. I'm still putting this in the A rank. Better than Donut. I like it more than Donut Plains 3, but not nearly as much as Calamari or Choco. So I think its center of A is pretty fair. And then N64 Rainbow Road. So where exactly do I put my first track ever? Like, come on. Do I need to say where it needs to go? I think you guys can kind of get the hint when I say that it's my first track ever. This is the most nostalgic Rainbow Road to me. It would be my favorite if not for other aspects, but for now, without any competition, it's going right here. Second of S rank. Like, obviously it's not going to be Toad's Turnpike. I've already made it clear that that's not going anywhere. I like it more than Bowser's Castle by a margin. Probably, like, this is like probably my top 3 favorite Mario Kart 64 tracks, easily. Obviously there's the length to talk about, like that's the elephant in the room. Longest Mario Kart track in history. Well, I think 3DS Rainbow Road is actually longer as a connected track. It doesn't take 6 minutes to finish. Rainbow Road N64 OG, 6 minutes to finish without any crazy stunts. And on the topic of crazy stunts, first, literally, you take a leap of faith off of the giant drop at the beginning, you could skip a good portion of the track. If you were to get that shortcut off, you could potentially snag about half a minute's worth off of the a lap time. Maybe it becomes a 4.5 minute track, maybe 4 minutes. I know. Even then, it's still longer than almost every other track. Taking 4 minutes to finish, even Wii's Rainbow Road doesn't have that beat. Mario Kart 8, I love that it came back. The only problem with Mario Kart 8 is that it became a 3-section track, which you could argue in its favor that it needed to do, but Mario Kart 64 and Mario Kart 8 have vastly different gameplay styles. You could have made Rainbow Road N64 and Mario Kart 8 a 2-lap track instead, and it still wouldn't have been nearly as long as some of the others. It still probably would have been a roughly 3-minute track to finish, but I think that would have been fair. Especially considering Wii's Rainbow Road was in the Booster Course Pass for 8 Deluxe, and that does take roughly about 3 minutes to finish. The visual aspect of Rainbow Road, okay, I think that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did not do the track as much justice as I wanted it to. I think that the man-made road was pretty bad. I didn't like that. The shape was still relatively faithful, but it could have been better. Everything about the OG will still remain my favorite. The style of the road was just beautiful. Like, I think the icon alone is gorgeous. Enough said. It's staying there. It's going to be in my top 10. It was my very first track. The music is so memorable to me. Like, it's just beautiful. And I kind of wish that I wish it kept more of the original style in its reappearance. Because I think if you had just enhanced the OG in Mario Kart 8, it would have been perfect. I think it would have been perfect. But for now, this has been the entirety of Mario Kart 64. It definitely ranks a lot higher than most SNES tracks. In fact, every single one of them ranked higher than most SNES tracks. Like, only a few SNES tracks were mixed in with the N64s up here, but I think they were worth it. Mario Circuit 2 just did get beat down a little bit, but that's fine. Not a single one even ranked below any of the C-rank SNES tracks, so... But again, it's SNES, so... Up next will be Mario Kart Super Circuit, where while the style of tracks is very similar to Super Mario Kart, Super Circuit just has a lot more going for it. So, I hope you guys all enjoyed. We could talk about the N64 tracks here. Let me know what you think your favorite N64 tracks are. Do you guys think that Toad's Turnpike is being overpraised? It wouldn't matter. It's my favorite. It's there for personal reasons. Do you think Moo Moo Farm is getting ripped off? Do you think Tupa Chupa Beach is getting ripped off? Do you think I ranked Calamari? No, I don't think anyone's going to be questioning if I ranked Calamari too high. If anything, people will probably say it's not high enough. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of my opinions. Let me know what your opinions are. Let's strike some Mario Kart 64 discussions in this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.